Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great Thursday. We're almost to the weekend, thankfully, because it has been a crazy week. I don't know about you guys, but today is our last virtual coffee of August. So if you guys can make it on the Zoom, make sure you click the link and join me. That way you guys can participate and ask questions because I won't be monitoring the Facebook group until after this is done. So today we are talking about LinkedIn and how to make your profile rock. I love LinkedIn and I hope that comes across today, but this is my niche. This is what I love to teach on, what I love to coach on. So I hope today you will learn a lot on how to improve on your LinkedIn profile. That way you are found easier and that you, especially nowadays, start networking on it because we can't network in person yet. We can't be meeting potential clients yet. A lot of things are still happening on Zoom. So I hope today you will be able to improve on your LinkedIn profile and, start networking and start using it. So let me just make sure that you guys can hear me. Okay, you can, because yesterday I did a I did a Zoom and nobody could hear me. So today I just wanted to make sure. All right, so I am going to start recording this as well, and I will share my screen. And again, make sure to pop on the Zoom if you can. That way you guys can ask questions. Okay. All right. Well, welcome everyone. If you are new to the group, I'm going to introduce myself. So my name is Michelle Arbori, and I am the owner of Savvy Social Media, where I coach businesses and small businesses and entrepreneurs on how to get a presence on social media that they really deserve. Prior to this, I was a web designer and a virtual assistant, and I'm very grateful for both of those opportunities because they've shaped me into the business owner that I am today. I can say that I am a breast cancer survivor. So I'm very happy about that. I was diagnosed in October of 2017, went through chemo, had surgery, and because of all of that, I am now a breast cancer survivor and cancer free. With that being said, we do all have limitations, especially right now in this world with coronavirus, but that shouldn't stop you from living the life you want. What I do is take you through each step with ease and simplification so you understand social media. My desire is to help you turn your limitations into strengths. And a lot of people do have limitations when it comes to social media and they give up. And I hate to see that. So I want you to understand social media. And with my help, I'm enabling you to have more time to do what you love and to spend it with the people you care about. As you know, using social media is no longer a consideration, a maybe, or when there's time. It's a must now if you want your business to grow. And there's no escaping it. And especially right now is the best time to really start working on your social media. You need to really think about, okay, I can't maybe have my stores open, or I can't go out and network because my business was a lot of networking here where I live in Rochester, New York. So now you need to rethink all of your marketing and all of your social media. But that's where I can come in. So, on a personal note, I'm from Rochester, New York, where I live with my husband and son, as well as two fur baby cats. Annabelle is the tiger one, and Mama is the black one. And something people don't know about me is that I'm a huge fan of Lucille Ball and reality TV, especially Real Housewives. Shh, don't tell anybody. Due to fibromyalgia that I was diagnosed with when I was a kid, it was very hard to hold a job. When I was let go from my last job back in 2009, the corporate world, which I do not miss, I did a lot of research for work at home jobs, especially because my husband and I wanted me to be able to stay home and raise our kids. I kept seeing virtual assistant come up. And if you're not familiar with what that is, it's like an administrative assistant, but I was able to do everything from home, make my own hours. If I wasn't feeling well, I could still work in bed on a laptop if I wanted to. So I started my virtual assistant business back in 2010 and got on social media. I fell in love with it right away. I don't know what it was. And back then it was MySpace, if you remember that. But I don't know what it was, but I learned as much as I could about it. And I worked it into my business, because how was I supposed to grow my business? It was something I started offering to my clients then. Because I loved social media so much and people were asking for it, there was such a huge demand for it. I rebranded my business and started to focus on just social media, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. With my business, I'm able to stay home and raise my son. I didn't miss his first step, his first words. I didn't miss anything. And also because of my business, I was able to take time off when I was going through breast cancer and really just focus on going through the chemo and having the surgery and recovering from that. And my clients were wonderful. They really supported me. And, I still worked during chemo. I would work on my good weeks, but I didn't have to worry about losing a job. So I love that I was able to have my own business during this time. But I'm also able to work with wonderful people, get to do speaking engagements, train businesses, host workshops, talk on webinars. So as you can see, the possibilities are endless when it comes to running your own business. I do have to say, if it wasn't for the support of my husband and my family, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I know this is going to sound weird, but if it wasn't for the fibromyalgia and the way that it affected me, I wouldn't have found what I wanted to do with my life. I wouldn't have found what I wanted to do, besides being a mom, but I wouldn't have found what I wanted to do with my life as a business owner. So today we are going to talk about getting a better understanding of what LinkedIn is. We're going to see what's in it for you. The top secret 4 things your profile must have, who should you connect with, why you should be writing articles on LinkedIn, getting more leads because of those articles, the top 5 reasons people engage with your content, and then joining LinkedIn groups. And these are all things that people ask me about all of the time. So that's why I want to focus on all of this stuff today. So what is LinkedIn? So LinkedIn is the most valuable and least talked about, and let's face it, underused social media network available to you right now. And if you're not using it to find new clients, you really are missing out. It is the #1 social media platform for networking and for businesses, especially B2B, business to business. So if you're not really using LinkedIn, you're really missing out. So it is the world's largest professional network, like I said, with more than 675 million members in over 200 countries. It's a way to build your professional identity, discover professional opportunities, business deals, and new ventures. And let me tell you, this is why I created a LinkedIn course, because this platform has really helped grow my business. And I really love this platform. But I don't want you to think about LinkedIn as a resume. So when LinkedIn first launched, I think it was in 2003, I could be wrong. But people really thought about it as a resume. But now that LinkedIn has grown into what it is today, you don't want to think of it as a resume anymore. You want to think of it as a way to tell your story and as a way to have inbound marketing that will help grow your business and connect you with other people. And it helps create your future. It really does when it comes to either looking for a job or growing your business. This is the really greatest platform to help you do that. It helps build your credibility and demonstrates your expertise really well. With first impressions going a long way, it's important to get yours right the first time, especially on LinkedIn, because I know when I'm going to search for somebody in the professional world, I'm coming to LinkedIn first. I'm not going to go to Google or Facebook. I may ask for recommendations on Facebook, but I'm going to come to LinkedIn and see what these what the people are all about. What's their business background? And when I go to meet new clients or talk to them on Zoom nowadays, I'm going to see what their profile can tell me about them. The whole part of LinkedIn is to really make connections and engage with those connections in really a meaningful way. Even though it's a professional network, you can still engage with them in a meaningful way and still show that there's a human being behind your brand and allow people to know, like, and trust you. You're probably going to hear me mention that a lot today. Know, like, and trust is really important when it comes to social media, especially when we can't meet with people in person, whether because of coronavirus or because they live in another state or another country for that matter. It's really important to grow those connections in a meaningful way. Unlike Facebook and Twitter, where your profiles are based on the content you share, LinkedIn is focused on growing your professional network. Build your personal brand and increase your industry knowledge. LinkedIn is being used by companies in more ways than really you can imagine, including social recruiting, public relations, community building, social selling, social media marketing, and employee advocacy. So it really is an important profile to hopefully you can see what it can do for you. So now I want to take a minute and go over some LinkedIn statistics that may surprise you. So I was right. It did start in 2003. It started in the living room of one of the co-founders in 2002, and it was launched in May of 2003. Since then, LinkedIn has been bringing business owners and employees together in a way that's simply not possible with traditional networking. By connecting with your colleagues, industry leaders, and brands, LinkedIn provides a new way for you to network. People are signing up at a rate of 2 new members per second. LinkedIn members are sharing insights and knowledge in more than 2.1 million LinkedIn groups, which we're going to talk about later. 260 million users are logging in each month. Of those using the platform monthly, 40% check LinkedIn daily, and I'm part of that. Users typically use the platform to find relevant content, meaning they'll be more willing to check out what you're sharing. 57% of LinkedIn's traffic comes from mobile devices, so this should be a big enough reason to really start with e-commerce. So if you have a store, maybe start thinking about e-commerce and consider a mobile commerce strategy, at least for the LinkedIn marketing efforts. That's really important. According to LinkedIn's Marketing Solutions blog, it's the most used social media platform among the Fortune 500 companies. Of the 2 billion millennials globally, 87 million of them are on LinkedIn. According to LinkedIn and Adweek, millennials make up a significant chunk of LinkedIn's total user base. So like it or not, millennials are the decision makers of the future and present in many cases, if you think about it. And if you're a business-to-business marketer, this should be seen as a great opportunity to get in front of them right now. Of those 87 million users, 11 million are in decision-making positions. That makes it entirely possible to get to millennials holding buying power without even touching Facebook and Instagram. So that's really important to remember. So now LinkedIn is the second most popular platform among business-to-business marketers, right just behind Facebook. 4 out of 5 business-to-business marketers use LinkedIn compared to 91% of those marketers who use Facebook. That puts it ahead of Twitter at 67%, Instagram at 66%, and YouTube at 54%. LinkedIn makes up more than 50% of all social traffic to business websites and blogs. Collectively, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter do drive 90% of social traffic to business sites and blogs, with more than half of that traffic coming straight from LinkedIn. Facebook and Twitter may have more monthly active users, which is true, but LinkedIn clearly separates itself as the go-to for business-to-business content distribution. 80% of social media B2B leads come from LinkedIn. 38% of B2B marketers say LinkedIn is generating more revenue for them. That's more than 1 in 3, and 3 times more than Twitter, 4 times more than Facebook, and 19 more times than Instagram. 71% of B2B marketers say LinkedIn is part of their advertising strategy. According to HubSpot, LinkedIn generates 3 times more conversations than Twitter and Facebook, almost 3 times higher. 62% of B2B companies have acquired a customer through LinkedIn. And like I said, this is the way I've grown my business, is through LinkedIn. I get a lot of my 30-minute discovery sessions, and then they turn into clients. 52% of buyers list LinkedIn as the most influential channel during their research process. And just under half, so about 43% of all LinkedIn users are women. So LinkedIn is quickly becoming a platform for all. You know, a while ago it was all men, but now women are starting to see the power of LinkedIn. So what's in it for you? Now that you have a better understanding of what LinkedIn is and how it can help business-to-business marketers, I hope you can start seeing the endless possibilities that LinkedIn provides. So now let's see what's in it for you. This is the fun part. So LinkedIn can give you exposure and access to important people that you may not be able to get in front of, right? Especially right now with COVID. It can also help you attract new prospects, keep you in front of existing clients, generate more introductions and referrals. 9 times out of 10, it's your colleagues searching for your profile, people you're trying to do business with, and people you met at an event and who are getting to know you. I know that when we were able to network, I would come home with, a stack of business cards, and I would go and connect with them on LinkedIn and see what they were all about on LinkedIn. You want to use your LinkedIn profile as a resource, so people want to keep coming back to see what types of content you're sharing and how you can help them. So why is no one finding you? This is what I hear all of the time. I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't get anything from it. So let's look at a few things your profile must have in order to be found easier. And when you do all of these things right, you will get more exposure, which turns into more clients, which turns into more money. And basically, that's really what we all want, is more money. So let's start with number 4. Did you know you can showcase your work on LinkedIn through a portfolio? Here's where you can showcase your products and services. Now, it did take me a while to figure out how to showcase my services, and I'll show you how I did that in a minute. Nothing shows your quality of work to potential customers better than rich, tangible examples. You can upload or link to previous work, such as blog posts, presentations, images, and websites. You want to give people a reason to engage with you. So you may be thinking, I don't have a product, I have a service like myself. That may be true, but you can still add things to your portfolio. And here is how. You can link to any YouTube videos you've created. You can upload documents that talk more about your business and what your services you offer. And you can upload images of you with your clients or your clients using your services. The possibilities really are endless when it comes to not having a product. And I will say it did take me a while to figure this out because, again, I have a service. I provide coaching and training. How can I showcase that? So now you can showcase your work in 3 different areas on LinkedIn. The featured section, which is under your about section, the experience area, and the education area. So here's what I've done. In the featured section, I have a video introducing my business to people. I have a PowerPoint presentation that showcases my speaker profile and my services one sheet. So if somebody clicks on each of those, they open right up in LinkedIn. That way they're not leaving, and people can see, what I speak on, who I work with, what kinds of services I offer, and learn more about my business and my company right in LinkedIn. So now in each of my different experience sections, I link to documents and websites where each one explains more about my position. So for instance, for the social media coach position, I uploaded a PDF of my services one sheet again. For the corporate training area, I provided a description of what I offer, and then I linked to that part of my website. So I have a separate page on my website just for the corporate training. So I link directly to that. And for the LinkedIn course that I created, I provide more information and then I link to that website. So there's different ways that you can still showcase your services. So the number 3 thing you should have are recommendations. And they're just testimonials of your experience, which showcases your business ethics, right? They can show how you helped a client or a company grow. And don't be afraid to ask for recommendations. You know, you always may think, oh, I'm bothering that person. I don't want to bother them. That's okay. Ask. And then if they don't respond, then hey, they didn't want to tell people how you helped them. And that's okay. But at least take the time to ask. You can ask your coworkers, colleagues, and former employers, as well as your customers and clients. So make sure you get those recommendations because they're a vital part of establishing that know, like, and trust. Am I really going to want to work with you if I don't see anybody saying how you helped them? And it builds your authority and your credibility. And that's really important on LinkedIn because if you are trying to work with somebody in a different state, they can't meet you for coffee. They can't get to know, like, and trust you. So you want to send off that great first impression with these recommendations. Let's see. They can show how you helped a company grow, like I said. One thing you should know is that no matter which social media platform you use, it's about building that know, like, and trust. By having recommendations, this is an outside source saying how good you are. When it comes to asking people, you need to change the way you think about it. You don't want to think that you're bothering them because then they'll never get, then you'll never ask. So once someone gives you a recommendation and you approve it, it's then added to your profile for everyone to see. And I know that when I'm looking to work with somebody, I do look at their recommendations to see what people have to say about them. All right, the next thing you should complete is the about section. It used to be called your summary, and then they changed it to the about section. So this is something that I see that people don't complete, and I'm not sure if they understand what that summary or about section is. So your about section is the first thing people will see when they come to your profile, and they'll want to see what you offer. They really want to learn how you can help them. Don't make it all about you or written like a resume. Show that potential client why you're someone worth knowing. Profiles with this section get 10 times more profile views than someone who leaves it blank. The about section gives people a chance to get to know, like, and trust you. You're going to hear that a lot. I think I told you. It should be client focused and include your keywords or phrases, which we'll talk about in a few seconds. It should speak directly to your target market. So it's really important to know who you work with. Who are you trying to go after? It can only be 2,000 characters long, so make sure your potential clients know that they're in the right place and that you are the person who can help them and address those pain points that they're having. You do want to write it in first person, like you're really talking to somebody. You don't want to write it in third person. You don't want to say Michelle Arbori is the owner of Savvy Social Media, and this is what she does, and this is who she works with. You want to talk directly to that potential client. Make it easy for people to contact you. So if you have room at the end of your about section area, make sure to include some contact information so that they don't have to go search for it. All right, now here come those keywords or phrases. These are terms that you think people are going to use when they're searching for you, whether it be on LinkedIn or Google. What types of trigger words or phrases would your ideal audience be searching for using either Google or LinkedIn? You're not going to be found if there's no keywords or phrases in your profile and if they're not in the right places. One of the things that I do with my clients is brainstorm on these keywords and phrases, and then I show them where they should go and how they should be used. In my experience, and I'm sure in yours, if you're not found on page 1 or 2 of a Google search, of a LinkedIn search, you're not going to get found because people don't have time to keep clicking on different pages to see who they're going to find. LinkedIn's search algorithm is closely aligned with Google's own algorithm. So a well-optimized profile will not only rank well on LinkedIn, but it will inevitably show up when others Google your name. So did you know that when someone Googles your name, your LinkedIn profile shows up on the front page and many times in the top 2 or 3 spots? It's because people are looking to do business with you and will be searching for your name in Google as well as a LinkedIn search. So if your profile is optimized the right way, you're going to get found easier. So now if you've previously done keyword research for your blog or your website, the top ranking keywords you found are a great place to start with. Choose the top 2 or 3 and optimize your profile around those. So here are some things I want you to think about. What words would people use to search for you? So make a list. Write it down. Use a Word document. What do you offer? What pain points does your business address? What makes you unique or different from your competition? Who do you work with? Okay, so those are some things to think about. You'll use your keywords in multiple places when it comes to LinkedIn. You're going to use them in your headline, in your about section, in your experience area, whether that be the headline or the write-up of that certain position. So now if you've already wrote your headline, take some time and look at it again, keeping your primary keywords in mind. How can you include your best keywords without making your headline difficult to read? That could be a challenge, I know, and that is something that I also help clients work with. So we'll make a list of all those keywords, and then we'll sit and write those headlines. That's something I love to do. So here are some examples of headlines that I helped write. Women and Widows Financial Educator, Sounding Board, and Trusted Advisor as life advances in expected or unexpected ways. So you know who she is and who she works with and what she does. Empowering people behind the lens and revealing one's true self through senior portraits, family photos, and headshots. So you know she's a photographer and who she works with. Senior portraits, family photos, and headshots. But she's empowering people to show their best self in their photos. Educating people on how to obtain the lifestyle they dream of and feel confident in their own skin. Personalized, detailed service and one-on-one creative problem solver who helps you get clear on what you're looking for. Life coach utilizing non-traditional ways to solve problems, gain confidence, and succeed personally and professionally. So as you can see, it doesn't say CEO of Savvy Social Media. Does that really tell you what I do? So it doesn't. So you want to start with your name. So LinkedIn only allows for your actual name as well as any commonly accepted titles like MD, MBA, PhD, stuff like that. You don't want to do anything like Michelle Arbori, social media coach, because LinkedIn will ding you for that. So you just want your name. So now in the about section, the key is to not describe what you do, but describe what you do for others. How do you solve their problems or address their pain points in the about section? So now here are some words or phrases to avoid according to LinkedIn. Passionate, motivated, driven, strategic, analytical, problem solver, results oriented, track record, strong communication skills, peace of mind, CEO, and owner. So as you see in my headline, I have LinkedIn How to Make It Rock course creator, helping you make a memorable impression. And I also help small businesses and entrepreneurs achieve the social media presence they deserve. I'm an award-winning coach and an international speaker. So I include a lot of my keywords in there. LinkedIn, course creator, entrepreneurs, small businesses, social media, award-winning, and speaker. And then in the experience section, I have my headline of social media coach specializing in showing businesses how to get a presence on social media. So I'm telling people what I do. So you make sure you want to use those keywords and get creative, because you want to be able to capture that person's attention. So when you do a LinkedIn search, all you see is the person's profile picture, their name, and their headline. So what is going to make them click to learn more about you? Okay, so CEO of, XYZ company is not going to make somebody click. You want something that's going to entice them to click so that they do learn more about you and hopefully reach out to you so that you guys can work together. So there is a bonus, but before we get to that, let's quickly review what we've already talked about. So you want to have samples of your work in the portfolio areas in the featured section, in the about section, the featured section, the experience section, and the education section. You want to get those recommendations or testimonials talking about how you've helped your clients. Give people a chance to get to know, like, and trust you by telling your story in the about section. Include your keywords and phrases in your profile. So, if you've worked with me, if you've heard me speak, you should know what the bonus is. But can you guess? Take a minute and see if you can figure it out. What's one thing I didn't really talk about? You need a profile picture. You must have a profile picture. This is something that I harp on a lot if I work with people. If you don't, people are going to see that gray silhouette. And are you going to want to connect with that person? Are you going to want to take the time to know, like, and trust them? Probably not. That's going to send a message that you don't care enough about yourself or your company or the business that you work for. It's going to show that you don't care enough to take the time to represent your company. It's going to show a lack of credibility, and people won't take you seriously. It means a prospective client will pass you by. So when I get LinkedIn connection requests, and if they don't have a profile picture, I hit ignore right away, because I need a face to see who wants to connect with me. And having a profile picture really brings that story to life, right? It lets people know that you're real, and your profile picture should portray you in a professional manner, but still be unique to you. You want to use a good close-up picture that stands out and make it unique while maintaining a professional appearance. So now, if you can, get a professional headshot done and use a professional photographer. You don't want any selfies. Please, no selfies. Because your headshot then will become a part of your brand. I use my headshots on my website, my marketing materials, my email signature. I need to get some updated ones. I actually just reached out to my photographer yesterday because it took a while after cancer to get my hair the way I wanted it. And then with COVID, we weren't going anywhere for months. So I've only gotten my hair cut a couple times since, she opened. But I need a new updated one because I don't look like that anymore. My hair is different. So you do want to make sure that it's updated. You don't want a 20-year-old picture because people aren't going to recognize you. What else? You do, like I said, want to make it unique to you. And you'll see in some of my other headshots that I use on my website or some other social media, my photographer took the time to get to know me. And she knows that I love flowers. So in these photos here, and you may see in some other ones, I have flowers in the background. There's tulips in the background, and they just so happen to be my branding colors by chance. But I love flowers and I love nature and I love to be outside. So when we were looking for places, she took some really great photos that, showcase and show who I am. You do want to smile. You want to look like you are someone that people can walk up to and just start talking to. Okay. You don't want that mugshot because then somebody's probably not going to want to connect with you. Now, people with a profile picture receive 14 times more profile views, and it generates more engagement, right? So I'm going to want to connect with somebody with a profile picture. So here's what not to do. And this isn't, obviously this is stock photo, but I've seen this on LinkedIn. So nobody wants to see a profile of you and your pet. I love my cats. I share a lot of them on social media. Ask anybody who follows me. But nobody wants to see those because this is a professional networking platform. Okay, so you don't want to do that. And unfortunately, you don't want to show your family. You want to save those for Facebook or Instagram. Now, trust me, I love my family and I love to show them off as well, but that's something we can't do on LinkedIn. And if you work with your spouse, you still want to have a picture of just yourself because this is your profile. You can talk about that you work with your spouse and that you're partners in business in your about section, in your experience section, but you just want your picture when it comes to your profile picture. Okay, so that's something to remember. So this is what you want to do. Make your profile picture consistent across all social media platforms if you can. Now on Instagram, it's more of a selfie because Instagram, you can get away with that. And I look more recent with my hair. But until I get these headshots taken and redone, I'm not going to change my profile picture until I get them done. Okay. So you do want to try and make them consistent if you can. So now something else I'm always asked about, who to connect with. Okay. And it's hard to say. I have my own policy and my own way of thinking about it. But the connections are the key to ranking better on LinkedIn. No matter how relevant or well chosen your keywords are, if you're not connected to a lot of people, your search ranking will be limited. So if you only have 100 connections, you're probably going to want more. The good news is, though, unlike Facebook, LinkedIn gives you a lot of room to grow. Every LinkedIn profile has a maximum of 30,000 first-degree connections. So you don't need to worry too much about running out of space. And first degree means you're connected to them. So there's different degrees. There's first degree, second degree, and third degree. The second degree connection is somebody that you may want to connect with who is already connected to your first degree connection. And I know that's confusing, and I can always share more stuff like that on how to explain that better in the group. However, though, you are limited to only 3,000 invitations, meaning you can only send invites to people to connect 3,000 times. That means you can't simply extend a connection request to just every person you come across. So again, knowing who your target market is and what your goals are of social media is really important. But there is a little trick to get around that. You can follow people without connecting with them. So if there is somebody that you want to try and connect with, but you're running out of space, just follow them. This allows you to see their posts and show up in your news feed, but unfortunately, they won't see your stuff. So if you're just following them, unless they're following you or you're connected, they're not going to see your things. So, so you do want to, be careful with who you connect with and have a strategic plan. Okay, so like I said, you do want to keep your connections laser focused on your target market, because targeted connections result in more targeted searches. And you do want to make sure that you're connecting with the right people. And actually, I actually went through my connections list, I want to say at the beginning of the year, maybe when COVID started, I don't even remember. But I unconnected with a lot of people that aren't my target market and people that I didn't see that I would get value from. So it's okay to unconnect with people as well if you're not going to get anything from them, meaning value. So every person is going to be different when it comes to connecting with people. I suggest making your own LinkedIn connection policy. So whether it's only accepting invitations from people you have personally known for many years, or accepting invitations from those who want to connect with you and who might add value to your network. Decide on how open or closed you are. You want to have the right people in your network. If you're in doubt about a particular person who wants to connect with you, send them a message and ask why they want to connect with you. And if they don't respond or answer convincingly, I would just ignore that invitation. And like I said, if somebody wants to connect with me and doesn't have a profile picture, I don't connect with them. I do look at their connection request. Some may include a message in their connection request, or a note and tell you why they want to connect with you. And that means they took the time to write you something and they really want to connect with you and start that conversation. So that's really important. I don't connect with everybody who sends me a request. If they're from a different country, I typically don't connect with them. And I look at their headline. And if I don't see that we can get value from each other, I don't connect with them. Because I want to keep those connection requests open to people who I can see getting value from and possibly working together. So who else should you connect with? Colleagues, past and present, partners and clients and customers, professional association members, networking acquaintances, classmates, and it is okay to connect with friends and family because you never know who they might know who could use your services. But again, come up with your own policy and try and stick with it, and that's okay. So now I'm going to tell you one of the ways that I've grown my business, and it's by writing articles on LinkedIn. So what do you do when you have more to say than just a status update, right? Write an article. You can call it blogging or content marketing or whatever, but one thing is certain. If you're not using this platform to write articles, you're missing out on a fantastic opportunity to reach a much wider audience. Keep that in mind. You're going to be reaching a much wider audience. People you're not connected to. And we'll get into that in a minute. So why should you consider publishing content? It's a great way to increase your authority on your topic. Your connections and followers can share it with their network. And you have a fantastic opportunity, like I said, to meet a much wider audience by sharing your posts in LinkedIn groups. That's how I've grown my business. Most of those group members are not in your network. So they can learn more about you and what you offer by the articles that you share. And this is one of the key ways that I have grown my business. And this is what I teach my clients and people that I work with. So it shouldn't be too difficult to come up with content. If you blog, all I do is copy and paste it into LinkedIn. Some people say, well, doesn't that hurt your SEO or whatever on Google? Doesn't Google ding you for that? I haven't seen a notice. I still get traffic to my website when I post those LinkedIn articles. So play around with it. Look at your Google Analytics to see if copying and pasting is hurting you, but I haven't noticed that. So you want to post original content. Take the time to create thoughtful, original content, and you'll soon gain a following of those who value your quality of work. Avoid the hard sell. It should be clear by now that LinkedIn's users don't appreciate being sold to. They want to get to know, like, and trust you. Give them value in the form of solid information, and they'll check out what you have to offer. And if you hammer them with endless promotions, they're not going to engage with you. They may even unconnect with you. They're not going to follow you, and they're not going to share your content. So you don't want to sell too much or the wrong way on LinkedIn. But you can include a strong call to action. So just because you're not being pushy doesn't mean, you can't have that call to action. Offer a clear call to action in all of your content, and your results will improve. Even if that's just directing them to your website, that's a call to action. Or if you're talking about a specific topic and you have a free offer, put that call to action in your blog post or in your article. So it's okay to do that because you're not being pushy. You're not being that sleazy salesperson. So how often to publish? And that's really up to you and your content creation schedule. But as with most content marketing, more is generally better. So it's best to not publish several posts in a single day. On the other hand, you don't want to be too quiet either. So you could do, every time you blog. So I do my best to blog once a week. So I can then go and share that as an article on LinkedIn. If you come across something on social media and you have a point to get out that is about your niche or your business, you can do an article about that. Just make sure you cite that post that you may have seen. It's okay to give your opinion on things as long as it's not, I always tell people to stay away from religion and politics, especially LinkedIn. That's more about the professionalism. But if you have an opinion about an article that came out about, your business or the niche that you're in, do an article about that. So it really depends on when you have something to say, when you have something of value to put out there. If you only blog once a month, then do it once a month. But try and be consistent with it. So how can this get you more leads? And I said it already, by sharing your articles to LinkedIn groups. And we'll talk about groups in a minute, but why do you want to share to those groups? And I think I sort of mentioned it earlier, because you can reach hundreds, if not thousands of people that you're not connected to already. Make sure you read the group guidelines though, because some don't want you promoting things, some don't want you sharing certain things. So make sure before you start sharing, you're reading those guidelines, because if you're doing the wrong thing, they're going to kick you out of the group and probably ban you from the group. So make sure you read those guidelines, and they should be somewhere on the right-hand side, the description of the group or the about section of the group. So make sure you're looking at that. And then if somebody reads your article and they want to get to know more about you, they can either connect with you or they can follow you. And that's how your business, that is one way that your business is going to grow. So top 5 reasons people engage with your content. 62% engage if it's educational or informative. 61% engage if it's relevant to them. 48% engage to stay on top of the latest trends. 40% engage if it's inspiring. And 38% engage if it helps with skill development. And really, that's important on LinkedIn. Now, yesterday I talked about hashtags in the group, and the 2 most popular hashtags for LinkedIn is leadership and productivity. So think about that when it comes to some of your content. And if your business can talk about those 2 things, that could be some great content to put out there. Now, what topics drive engagement? 89% like industry trends or news. 86% likes tips or best practices. 79% like content that's about jobs or skills, because you do want to remember LinkedIn is still a place that headhunters go to and that people use to look for jobs. So if you know somebody's, if you're in that area, then posting stuff like that is really important. 78% like content on leadership, and it drives higher engagement. 75% like industry events. 72% like product or service information. And 67% like employee perspectives. So now let's talk about LinkedIn groups. And as I said at the beginning, there's more than 2.1 LinkedIn groups that's just endless of things that you can join. Joining groups allows you to connect with people who have the same professional interests as you. They can help you showcase your talents and skills on a wider stage because you are sharing to people that you're not connected to. They allow you to increase your visibility to the online world because Google can pull up public LinkedIn group discussions in a search. As a member of LinkedIn, you are allowed to join up to 50 groups. You don't have to, but you can't join more than 50. When deciding which groups to join, it's important to maybe pick 5 to start with, 5 to 10 that everyone else in your industry is joining. Join groups that your customers are involved in. Join groups where your potential customers are. And join professional groups in your local area. So if you just do a search for Rochester, New York, say, because that's where I'm from, and then I click on the groups link, it's going to show me all the groups that are local to my area. So there may be chamber groups on there. There may be publication groups on there. There may be alumni on there. It's great to join alumni groups on LinkedIn. So you do want to join groups that are local to you because then you can meet people and network and connect. And when we can start meeting people for coffee again, you can meet people in person and connect with them. But you do want to engage in those groups. And that's something that I fall to. I share, but then I forget to look and engage and comment and like, and I have to get better at that. And I know that. So you do want to engage with them because that is how you're going to connect and make real meaningful connections like I talked about at the beginning. And 1 out of 3 LinkedIn group posts that converted included a question mark in the subject line. So if I'm posting about LinkedIn mistakes, I could say something like, are you making any of these? Question mark. And I guess those have higher engagement. So I know this is a lot of information to take in, and there is so much more to know in order to succeed with LinkedIn. This is just a little bit of what I covered today. So how many are you like me? You do these, join these presentations, you go to these conferences, you're all hyped up, you're ready to go, you're ready to work on everything. Then you get back to the office, or you get home now, your home office, you help your kids with school, chore, whatever. Then weeks go by and nothing got done, right? And I fall victim to that as well. And I understand where you're coming from, and I want to help you. So just like I help a lot of my clients succeed with social media, I want to be able to help you. So let me show you how. So I want to introduce you to the LinkedIn How to Make It Rock course. As you learned today, LinkedIn can build your professional identity, demonstrate your expertise, help you discover professional opportunities, new ventures, business deals, give you exposure and access to those important people that you may not have access to. But there is just so much more that I didn't even cover. So the LinkedIn How to Make It Rock course will feature lessons on how to get a vision for your social media, not just LinkedIn, but all your social media. Getting a better understanding of what LinkedIn is, I go into more. Setting up your LinkedIn account, creating your profile, telling your story in that about section, how to optimize your profile for search, not only on LinkedIn, but on Google. Customizing your profile. As you see, I have a cover photo there. So how do you customize your LinkedIn profile so it tells more of your story? Connecting with people, asking for those recommendations. I actually give you templates on how to ask people for those recommendations. Creating a LinkedIn company page and showcase pages and what those are. Seeing what types of content works for LinkedIn, because what you share on Facebook and Instagram is most likely not going to work for LinkedIn. We go into more detail about writing articles, how to promote your business without giving that hard sell and being that sleazy salesperson, and how to search on LinkedIn, because there are a lot of search options on LinkedIn that you don't even know about. So you're also going to get videos teaching you every step of the way, the Get Results with the LinkedIn Planner handbook that I created, and the How to Get a Vision for Your Social Media workbook. Printouts helping you not only with LinkedIn, but all of your social media. You'll also be a part of a closed Facebook group where you can share your progress, ask for help, and network. And as a special bonus, you will get over $400 in free stuff that will help you through your social media journey. So normally I charge $299, but today I'm offering it to you for $199. And you don't want to forget what you're going to get. Videos walking you through every step of the way. 2 workbooks, over $400 and free stuff. So you do get a lot. And again, I'm walking you through everything about LinkedIn. Now, this offer is only good until today, and there's the link, and I'll make sure to share that in the comments below. So I hope you guys were able to see the power of LinkedIn just from the hour that we had today, and just to see how it can really help your business grow. And again, I only touched a little bit on how it's helped my business and the tools that I've used, like writing articles and sharing those articles to groups, and how that helped my business grow. There's just so much more that you can do on LinkedIn that can really help you. So here's all of my information. Feel free to connect with me. Ask me any questions that you have in the Facebook group in the comments of this presentation. And I hope you guys have a great, great day. And we'll talk to you guys soon.